Hi everyone, my name is Kylie. Welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel, Wage Gap Education. This is my third video in my wage gap series where I'm giving you the fundamentals and what you need to know about the wage gap. Today's video is called The Key Drivers, and it's about what and who primarily contribute to the wage gap. Let's get started. So first off, who is involved? In the upper left corner, the employer. Employers often have both conscious and unconscious biases against women that largely contribute to the wage gap. Some consider women less competent or able to do their job because of the possibility of motherhood or other career disruptors. Furthermore, employers oftentimes will end up giving special projects or even promotions to men because of these internal biases. These biases can create both glass ceilings and sticky floors, meaning that women face more obstacles throughout their careers, referring to the sticky floors, and have lower level, highest paying jobs than men, thus glass ceilings. Now moving on, women themselves. Women are often faced with more family obligations, which makes them more likely than men to look for jobs that have shorter commutes, better hours, and other non-wage benefits. This is oftentimes called the mommy tax, and it's a large contributor to the small percentage of the wage gap that still exists at around 5% once you hold all other things equal. So, when women and men have the exact same qualifications and are in the same position, that remaining 5% wage gap is oftentimes due to discrimination based on the mommy tax and other factors such as special stock options and more discretionary pay. Women also tend to face more career disruptions than men, which oftentimes slows down their ability to develop experience and that time in the office that's often seen as so valuable. Moving on, fellow employees. A large aspect of businesses that allows the wage gap to continue thriving is the fact that women often don't know how much less they're getting paid because people don't often talk about their wages. Although certain companies and states say that it's illegal for people to talk about wages, in the places where it's not, such as California, fellow employees, especially male employees, should take on the responsibility to talk with their female counterparts in order to ensure that the workplace is much more clear about what the wages look like so women can have a better understanding of how much or how little they're getting paid in regards to their other employees. If employees were able to talk about their wages with one another, it would definitely even the playing field. Additionally, if no employees negotiate their wages, the wage gap will likely decrease because oftentimes women don't feel like they would have the ability to negotiate their wages as well as men would be able to, because oftentimes women, if they try to negotiate, will be seen as bossy, or they've been told throughout their upbringing that that's not a good thing to do. So you often see that men are much more willing to negotiate their wages. So if you take that off the table, a small percentage of the wage gap would decrease. And lastly, the government. If you want to see some more information on legislation and the history of the wage gap, you should check out my last video called The Background that I just posted. But as a brief overview, the government can hold companies accountable for unconscious biases by making them report the wages of their employees. By forcing companies to be more transparent with their wages and by passing legislation to force them to do so, the government could largely help the wage gap decrease by making the environment much more open to discussing the wages. By requiring businesses to be more transparent with their employees, government legislation will help to ultimately decrease the wage gap. Because when companies are required to disclose salary information to their employees or allow employees to discuss their salaries, the wage gap will shrink. Thus, one of the main ways to help lessen the wage gap is simply through transparency, and that is something that the government can definitely enforce. Now, I know that that was a brief overview, but I hope that that helps to give you a little bit of insight into who the main players contributing to the wage gap are. Thank you so much for watching this video. And again, this is a brief overview. If this is something that interests you, please make sure to go and check out some other research and videos to give you more of an in-depth understanding. But hopefully you got something out of this video. Make sure to check out the other videos on my channel and feel free to email me with any questions at wagegapeducation@gmail.com. This is my works cited page for this video. Thanks so much.